Hey, yeah, hi, I forgot. There you are. Yeah, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I was looking under the bed. I decided to clean, and I found the joint. I'm like, oh, rock and roll. So out here, I'm gonna do another upload. I think I left off when talking about hitchhiking through California. Um, we wound up in my guy's apartment, his family's apartment. Didn't work out too well. His When I first got there, his the family. I mean, immediately everyone in the family smoked weed, which I thought was fucking incredible. I mean, from the old to the young, I thought that was like so wild. And there was a moment. We didn't even get to stay over there. Actually, there was a moment where we were supposed to go out for ice cream, and they left me in the car with the grandfather. And he said, turns to me and he goes, "You came to get me, and I know you have, and you're not going to get me. You're not going to get away with this." So when they came back, that kind of freaked me out. And we all had bought like these, what do you call it, like strawberry milkshakes. And we're in the living room. The grandfather leaves, and he comes back and he slaps all the milkshakes out of our hands, and there's like pink everywhere. And then he goes into his room. So I'm like, babe, we can't stay there. Hi, how are
How
you?
are you?
Good. How's everything? Quiet?
Very quiet.
Good, good. They actually, I think the big troublemakers left. So
Yeah, you told me that. I
yeah,
believe them.
yeah. Bye bye. So yeah, that was there's these three Irish lads I met. Actually, one guy so cute, reminds me of a bisexual guy that was coming on to me at the mental ward. So cute. Came out here, and he's like smoking a joint right here in this in the stoop, and I'm like, dude, you can't do that. This is not Ireland. You don't see any pigs and cows walking around. There's the cops around the corner. So they invited some guys from Dublin, and they went crazy drunk, and they wound up on the floor of my front door, and my roommate walked over them. Some other gay guy walked over them. He was very flirtatious with me. And then I saw her, and then she told me, yeah, they're climbing on the fire escape. I hate that. And I said she was gonna wanted to call the cops. I'm like, listen, don't call the cops. I'll talk to the ringleader, Aaron. And then I had found out that some guys from Dublin just come over, and those are the ones that were falling asleep on the stairs or whatever. But she didn't arrest him. She didn't do anything. So that's cool. So anyway, back to the hitchhiking. And I said, we got to get the fuck out of here. We got to do something. So I have some money, and I'm like, listen, let's just get like uh, the cheap hotel. And the thing about that is that when you're accustomed to a New York life, a cheap hotel is not that cheap looking. It's not that horrible looking because it's right by the ocean. We were right by Fort Bragg. I mean, you could walk down and then go down a cliff and go into the water. It's like that kind of like countryside. It's beautiful. So we got like a cheap hotel room there, and I said we got to find jobs. So I find a job in a restaurant, and in the restaurant they have a pizzeria in the back, and he knows how to make pizza because he used to work as a pizza guy when he was in high school or whatever. So we got that gig going on. We got high on acid. Not acid, was it mushrooms? Oh my god! Like I don't know where the fuck we got it. Probably from a family member or something. Um, but we bought all uh, these mushrooms, and I didn't know that you're only supposed to take like a small twig because I never saw that shit, and I didn't know how to take them. So I'm like, we got the bag. Let's do the whole fucking bag. So we did the bag, and I tripped so fucking bad. I was tripping for 16 hours. I wanted to stop, but it was incredible, dude. I saw colors. I saw numbers. I saw people's faces contort. I saw my finger go into stuff and come out of stuff. It was insane. After the 16 hour, I was like, this has got to stop, and I found out that we took too much, but got that under my belt. So we did Ouija boards, and the Ouija board would tell us go back, which I find really ironic. And one day we were coming home, and he was inside upstairs, and we had just bought some weed, and I keep it in the toilet tank, right? So probably from a family member. And um, I'm walking in to go inside my room, and I'm looking at the corners of the block, and I see like people gathering, like maybe 6 to 8 people gathering, and they're coming towards my door, and then it grows to like 10 to 12. So I run upstairs, and I said, Rich, something's going on. I said they're gonna fucking lynch us in this town, so we got to get the fuck out of here. So we have the guy downstairs call the cops, and we start packing. Um, and then the cops come, and they come into the room, and they're looking around, and they see a picture of me hugging him. And he looks at us and he goes, "We don't like your kind around here. You're gonna have to leave." And I said, "No problem, sir. No problem." So we grab our shit. I grab the weed, put it in my bag, and then we walk. And you know, he's Ray's like, "What now?" And I'm like, all right, well, just walk. I mean, we walk and walk and walk and walk till we drop in the fucking heat. There's nothing else we can do, and then we'll hitchhike." And so before we got to the highway, there was this van that showed up, like a white van, like a Scooby Doo van, but without the colors. And there was these two girls in there, beautiful girls, a blonde with short hair and a dark hair girl with short hair also, but beautiful girls. And they're like, "Hop in," and then she's like, "Where do you want to go?" I said, "Anywhere, just get us out of here." And she goes, "Yeah, I know, we saw what went on." I said, "We'll take you anywhere you want. We'll take you out of here." And she's like, "Where do you want to go?" And I said, "Anywhere, just drive. And then when you get off, we'll get off, and then we'll go from there." So we're going over the highway, and I don't drive. So as we're going over the highway, she looks at me, the blonde, and she said, "Can you take the wheel?" And I'm like, "Why?" She goes, "Because me and my girlfriend are both on acid because they're lesbians." And I'm like, "Oh God, this is all we need. I can't drive." So I turned to Ray, and he's supposed to be the big, strong guy, because he was always taller and bigger than me. I have like kind of a runner's build. So he starts crying, and I'm like, "Oh, shit, this is all we fucking need." So I get behind the wheel. I'm like, "Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do." And then we get off the bridge, take the wheel. I'll walk. So she tells me what to do, and we drive and we drive and we drive, and I don't know where we wound up, but we wound up somewhere far. And then after that, I said, "Thank you, take the car. I never want to see you again." So that was like my first, like, introduction of like being there. Um, it's scattered in how we got around. Uh, I got a job at a hotel. Um, no, I had to leave that job in the hotel. Then we kind of went hitchhiked further down. I said, "Let's go to San Francisco. We're gay. Maybe they'll help." So we went, and we passed by San Obispo or something like that. I think it was. We're at the bus station, and he says, "I want to go back." And I'm like, "What do you mean I want to go back?" And then he goes, "I want to go back." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not going back." I said, "I came out here for something. I didn't just come out here to come out here. I'm not going back." So he goes back. He leaves me out there. I keep going till I get to San Francisco. Um, I wound up, I think, in Guerneville, sleeping in on the grass in Guerneville. I remember that name. Um, and go make it to San Francisco. So now I'm in the city. I don't know anything or anyone. I got a couple of dollars in my pocket, not too much. Don't want to spend money, so I don't want to buy food. And carrying like cereal with me and shit like that. And buying milk and eating like that. And I walk into, I guess, like a hostel. So I go in there, and the guy says, I says, "Can you help me?" And he says, "What's the problem?" I said, "I don't have a place to live. I come from New York." I said, "Can you put me up maybe for a day or two, just for a place to stay? I'll find out, get to know the city, and then I'll do my own thing." And then he says, "How old are you?" I said, "I'm 18." And he goes, "We can only take you if you're 17. And I said, "Well, what do I do?" And he goes, "We'll go out and go to a club, pick someone up, and they'll take you home, and you'll be able to take a shower." So I said, "So essentially, you're telling me to prostitute myself?" And he didn't say anything. Then from there, I kept hitchhiking up until I had met. Who did I meet? Oh yeah, funny story. Oh, there's cops. So as I'm hitchhiking, this woman with like these fur picks me up in this like fabulous car, and I'm like, "Holy shit! Why is she picking up me?" So we're in the car, and she says, "You want to go to a party?" And I'm like, "A party?" I says, "I'm going to be like a sex slave or something like that. But you know what? I'm hungry. So I said, "Yeah, sure." So I get there, and half the party is like a bunch of hippies, and the other half of party is like a bunch of like rich people, like very elite, very well dressed, the diamonds and pearl crowd. So I was really like impressed with that, and it was a beautiful mansion. So there's like stuff to eat, and I'm walking up and down the stairs, and then I meet this girl, And I'm talking to her, and I'm like, "What's your name?" And she's like, "Ocean Light." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, Ocean Light. That sounds cool." And I'm like, "Where are you from?" And she's like, "From Albion." And I said, "Oh, Albion." And apparently, Albion is like a lesbian community. There's just lesbians that live there. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Why are we here?" And she said, "We're celebrating the man that created the marijuana pill." And I'm like, "Oh, shit." So I thought that was like cool. So after hitchhiking there, a rich guy picked me up. He owned a coffee company. Um, he said, "Where do you want to go?" I said, "Just take me anywhere." Um, and no, actually, you know what? Rate it and leave. He was with me throughout that whole thing. He was with me throughout that whole thing because he was there when the guy picked us up. Now I remember. So they picked us up, and he said, "Are you looking for work?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, I have property that I could have you work on, and you could stay at a cabin, the summer cabin we have behind our mansion that he fucking built, which has a redwood tree growing right through it." So I'm like, bingo. So me and Ray stayed in that little cabin for a little while, and then had the wildest sex. Um, I worked for him on the property, cleaning up and stuff like that. We had dinner with him. He wrote an article about me because he wrote in the newspaper. Um, he After the stint was up, because he had to have family move in, he had a tuna boat. And he said, "If you want, you can stay on the tuna boat because for 6 months we're not using it and we need someone to go in and out the boat to keep it ventilated." So I said, "Let's do this. No hot water, but we could take a shower where the fishermen do. And there's boats there too, and we can, float around." I'm like, "Fuck, that's like a free place to stay." I said, "We can do that and we can work. But on that note, it's kind of late, so I'm gonna let you go. Smoke a little bit of the other joint. Yeah, I found the joint. This shit rocks. And then go to sleep. Take care. Bye. Good night, guys. Bye.